Hello, everyone. Welcome to Goddess Radio. I'm your host, Gabrielle Faraci, and I am a feminine power and pleasure coach. Thank you for listening. And today, I wanted to speak on the difference between disempowerment and disconnection within a woman's life. And I think the major distinction that I wanted to get through today is that you cannot be disempowered physically. You may feel disempowered, but really what that is just disconnection from your internal source. As women, we are portals to the divine. I've spoken about this previously, but I feel like it's always necessary to reiterate because we live in a system that really does not want women to know that. And the reason I say that is because it really feels like every system that I've encountered that is kind of set up within society really is not designed to enhance the lives of women, and instead really it's intended to extract. And we see that a lot in, let's call it the matrix. Okay. When we are disconnected, not disempowered, we are searching external for something to ignite our internal power. And oftentimes, sometimes our response is to become super controlled, super externally sourced, wherein maybe you're doing a lot of drugs to try to enter something into your body that makes you feel good, or searching endlessly for a partner, doing a lot of things to fill your cup that don't come from within yourself. And I think there's a program of that. Like, you need to have a man to get into to do anything in society. It's like, yeah, that's an old, we can have bank accounts and credit cards that own businesses now, yes, but like that belief is still pervasive, especially in Abrahamic religion. Think about every religion, Abrahamic or not. I have never encountered a large organized religion that had women at the forefront. In fact, what Christianity flipped the script so that Eve came from the rib of Adam. Are you fucking serious? What? This whole human race would not exist without one central mother giving birth to someone along the way. Are you fucking serious? Okay, I digress. So, as you see, the disconnection is inherent from birth. We are conditioned out of ourselves and away from our power. But you cannot, it still exists. The flow of power through your body still exists, whether you like it or not, whether you're attuned to it or not, because you still have pleasure and you still have desire, even within these structures that are meant to disconnect your mind from your body. And you act upon your desires and upon your pleasures, but they may not be true aligned desires that come from the depth of your soul that are inspired from source itself. Like, for example, I used to desire having a nursing career. That was based off of safety and security beliefs that I was given versus the desire I now have is to be an entrepreneur. So you see how that shifts when I shift, your desires shift. And my desires have become way more aligned with who I am truly and what my blueprint of my body and soul is telling me. Because we all have an inherent blueprint. And the matrix blueprint that you may be currently adhering to is more based on an external perception of power. Financially, we live in a capitalistic Western society. Most of the time, if you're listening to a podcast, you probably live in a westernized society. I was going to say my inherent desires to be a awakener of women or some kind of coach to women was inherent within me when I was 16 years old. Like that's when my desire came online after I saw these women around me going through fucking hell with their partners. hell. Like my closest mentor and friend when I was in high school was my high school teacher, and she was going through fucking hell with her husband, and it was not an aligned relationship. And I saw her struggling. I saw my mother struggling. I saw just these women that were in these situations that they didn't really want to be and they couldn't get out. And I just knew immediately that was not how it's supposed to be. Women need to be having access to their freedom and access to their power, like access to the confidence that they truly have within. Like I knew that at 16 years old. However, my desire overrode that. My path is my path, and I would never take it back because over the course of the last 20 years, I have solidified into the person who I need to be in order to lead this movement that I've been called to start, in order to really begin to awaken the feminine energy on this planet and allow women to ignite their power, reignite their power. Because like I said, the power is within you, and how it manifests is through pleasure and desire. So pleasure is not an indulgence. I just want to say that a million fucking times. Pleasure for a woman is not an indulgence. It is a communication from spirit. Now, we're talking about embodied pleasure, not just like escapism, pure hedonism, which definitely has a place. Don't get me wrong. Like, it definitely indulge into hedonistic activities with semi regularity. But what the thing is like that pleasure is embodied and deeply aligned with me. Like, I feel excited doing those things, but I do it in a balanced way, overload into that and like tip the scales and get lost in this indulgence in my life. Like, that has its place, but it also has to be balanced with containment and devotion to self. And part of devotion to self equals balance. Like, you are a whole person and have access to your power at all times, but the way you act around that, the way you contain that or learn to use it in a direction in your life is the mastery of it. You can't get to that devotional flow, that mastery, that level of self mastery when you're giving too much into the pleasure. So that's the thing. It's like pleasure is a communication, but what you do with that communication literally tells you everything about who you are and how you are going to approach your power. Wherever, whatever entry point you're at, whether you want to dip your toe in it or if you super resonate with what I'm saying, you understand that there's more to you than meets the eye. Like, you know that there's an undercurrent, a depth to you that you may not have ever been able to like tangibly express or access. And that's the whole point, is like you need to learn how to listen to that. And it comes in the form of pleasure often, but also it can also come in other forms of downloads, datas, whispers, intuitive hits, whatever. But the idea is that is your power. That is source speaking to you. And the clearer your channel, the more connected you are to yourself and your body, it decreases the static. That is the disconnection, the distortion, the fog, the static. That's the disconnection. You're not disempowered because your power exists within you. It's just your ability to connect with it and use it in the direction of your aligned desires. AKA, what the fuck do you want? Name it and get there by following your deepest, most aligned desire and pleasurable experiences. And that's it. You're not disempowered. Because right now, if I took you through an erotic energy activation and you sat with the manifestation of your soul in your pelvic bowl at your sacral chakra in your womb, you would know for fucking sure that there is way more connected within you than you ever gave a thought to. And that's the problem, that we've never been taught that. We've not been, it needs to be impressed upon us, at least around the time of our first bleed, what this actually means now. Like, you're now initiated into the most power a human being could possibly have access to. Even if you don't, even if you don't have a womb present, even if you don't have a bleed, even if like your womb is a representation, a physical manifestation of a fucking portal. Our whole body is a physical manifestation of our portal, but our womb specifically is where a baby physically manifests and can, like, the egg after it's fertilized, like, automatically knows, has the codes of implantation and growth. Like, that's the kind of shit that we create. And so when you remove the baby making, baby creation aspect of it, because not every woman is here to be a mother, which is a fucking fucked up misconception about another extractive way that women are treated in this fucking matrix, that we, like, are forced to carry babies. Like, sometimes that baby is not a manifestation of our creation. It was thrust upon us, and it's not our lane to be going down that. We might have a bigger purpose on this fucking earth. Like, let's eliminate that shame right the fuck now. Okay? We are not forcing women to do anything. Like, this is all about choice. Like, this whole fucking incarnation on this world, getting you back to, like, who you truly are. Like, is your personality really shining? Or are you so in this identity of disconnection because your body won't fucking move? Your personality is a manifestation of your power also. So the closer you get to yourself and your relationship with that, the more you really shines. Anyway, wombs are a physical manifestation of our portal, but in reality, existing as a feminine energy on this planet, in this reality, you cannot help but have the power of creation. So when a seed is given to you and you don't even want to create, your body creates anyway. So biologically, we are wired, biologically and neurologically wired to pass information to and from source. And since we move in a lunar calendar, a 28-day cycle on average, obviously not every woman does this, and obviously not everyone has a bleed or has a 28-day cycle. I digress. Pleasure is a physical manifestation of source as well. That is another way that source communicates with you, is through your body. There's a million different ways to communicate with source, but the way that you're going to harness the information that source is giving you is to form a relationship with your sacral chakra in your womb space. And that is the seat of your power. And it's not like this. Yes, this knowledge is ancient. Yes, this knowledge is esoteric. Yes, there are a lot of ways to, like, say this information. You could use a bunch of different words in a bunch of different languages, but it doesn't have to be this aesthetic of inaccessibility. That's kind of what I get sometimes from the divine feminine aesthetic on social media. It's like this ethereal woo secret, like, you got to go through the goddess to get to yourself, which, there is an element of that. Mary Magdalene manuscripts, she stuttered under the goddess Isis in order to learn sex alchemy. So there is an element of that, and there is an element of respect towards the goddess. But what the goddess really is an external representation of you. You should be worshiping you because you are the temple, you are the house for the source. So if we are all the universe expressing itself through form, and the universe equals God, equals source, equals goddess, then your body is the temple to the divine. So whatever aesthetic is applied to the divine feminine is just an aesthetic, and it's just a representation of ethereal feminine flow. But that doesn't mean that has to be aligned with you or how you look at yourself in regards to the expression of your divine. You may not resonate with the spiritual, super esoteric golden goddess aesthetic. You may align with something a little bit more, pretty in pink or dark femme coded. There is not a threshold that you have to adhere to in order to enter the practice of honoring your divinity through your temple. However you want it to look for you, however it manifests, that's completely within your right of expression. I just feel like there's some commodified code of hidden knowledge that presents as a barrier to entry when it's supposed to be a draw back to yourself. Whatever you desire, whatever is in alignment with you is how your energy and how your divinity flows and shows up, period. There is no aesthetic to it. It is just all the other shit is branding. Like, what is your branding? How do you want to handle the flow of your energy through your life and through your body? That's the real key. Accessing your divinity is accessing your power, and your power lives at a confluence point of all the chakras in your sacral chakra, in your womb space. That is the seat of your power as a feminine woman. And honoring that as much as possible will return dividends of expression and creation and joy and pleasure. So, leaning into the sensation of pleasure, conditioning your body to felt sensation of pleasure begets more pleasure. Like, it all has a role, and initially the pleasure is stimulated by external source, but then once you realize that it exists within you and you can generate it yourself, then you become more of like a devotee to yourself, and then you can experiment with garnering power within you. And that's where we get into sex alchemy, where you use the energetic field around you, as well as your genitals to stimulate pleasure, to stimulate power in your pelvic bowl. And then you move it up your spine to open your third eye and really blast forth and connect with the cosmos. But that's a whole different school of thought. That is sex alchemy. Right now, we're doing pleasure alchemy, which pleasure doesn't necessarily need to mean sex. Pleasure can be alchemizing your desires from your everyday life into something that in a directional flow, like containment and learning how to even harness the power. This is a prerequisite for sex alchemy. And then, the more you connect with someone else on that alchemical level sexually in like a divine union is really when you start to see God like physically. Anyway, really mainly the point is that like the more often that you are accessing your divinity and realizing that your divinity lives within you and that you are a temple. When they talk about goddesses and temples, they talk about God in the body. So we live in our body and house our goddess within us. Our goddess is the flow of erotic life force through our body. And the way that you start to uh, learn that flow is you devote yourself to getting to know felt sensation in your body. And a fun and joyous way to do that is to lead with pleasure. And that's a very simple way to basically break down the framework that takes you from quote unquote disempowered or disconnected through the static, through the fog, into your body, into a relationship with your felt sensation. And then you learn how to contain your energy and focus it, always flow it back into yourself, flow it back into yourself. And then you become this balanced powerhouse of power, of potential, of creation. And then as you're working with yourself, learning to work with your menstrual cycle, learning to work the flow of your season, and then you can begin to apply this devotionally in the lifestyle. But the first step is to become acquainted with yourself and pour into yourself the pleasure and desire that you want, and learn to teach your body that foundationally it's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to have whatever beliefs you have about the femininity and the current structures and the current systems. Like, the first step is to reawaken, and then from there you automatically understand the disconnection because you're building your mind body connection every single day, and then it stops becoming disconnected and you start to realize what is within the depths of you. And sometimes we need to be held in that space to be able to initiate that relationship, which is why I offer coaching. you can dip your toes into an energetic activation where we hold space for you to really root into your erotic energy and to pay attention to your womb space, to pay attention to your sacral chakra and what turns on. Or, you can book a one-to-one private mentorship where I assist you in going from disconnected to devoted, and then that leads to magnetism. All of this, all of these paths lead to magnetism, where you are the center of your reality and reality reorganizes around you. That way you're not having to just control your thoughts. You're so regulated and in the seat of your true identity that your thoughts, that are those negative thoughts and those beliefs, they don't even exist to you anymore. They don't even register as like a thing. They don't even come to the surface because the root of your power generation is in your body now, not externally stimulated. You're internally stimulated and internally sourced, so that when you go to do a shift, like reality reorganizes around you rather than you stressing and trying to push it in the 3D. You are just at the seat sitting in your devotion to your true identity, and then everything reorganizes around you. Obviously, like the law of assumption and affirmations and belief changing has a position in all of this. I think it's all connected. But if you want to really collapse timelines, like the way to do that is through your body, through your relationship to sensation, through your relationship to felt sense, and really allowing your power to move around your body and like converse with you, communicate with you. Allow your body to relay the information that it's there to house. Like let's do what we came here to do. Let's use our body, what we're here to do, and not just focus on what's going to advance me in society, what's going to like fulfill me in the matrix, but like what's actually at the root of my desires and how do I get there? How do I embody the truth of who I really am? This is like for women who are ready for change and like maybe feel like they've been ruminating healing on this journey forever, but like it's not actually landing. That's because you're disconnected, babe. I mean, sometimes we can change our beliefs and think through the changes, and that's absolutely fine if that's something that you wanted to do, but that never worked for me. That always yielded short-term results, but in the long term, I wasn't able to hold shit because I was disembodied. And the more embodied you are, the more you can hold that you want to call in. So when you build a foundation and you're foundationally, physically identifying with the identity of your truest desire, everything that you affirm from that place is going to be aligned and it's going to come to you a lot more easy than it is stressing and trying to force yourself through a situation. I will say that both have a draw, but if you're a woman, a female body, nervous system in this reality currently, your body is designed to become the temple from which you operate and house your soul. So like why wouldn't we come into alignment with that? Like let's work with the tools that we were given, not against, in order to really prop up like the life that we want to live and really raise and elevate our frequency, because that's really what's going to draw in what's most aligned. And you don't have to stress and waste this energy like freaking out about something you don't have, so you can just shift into the identity physically of your alignment and then attract from there. And that's how you go from disconnected and quote unquote disempowered into a magnetic bad bitch, because that's really what we all want. We all want power. We want control. We want to be able to feel free. We want to be able to like get our desires without having to like worry and stress that if it's not right for us or like what everyone else says, blah, blah, blah. When you're truly deeply embodied into your soul's truth, none of that shit matters. And you don't have to leak all this energy and waste all this time ruminating and being scared when the answer is within you, and it'll inspire you to act when you ask your soul's truth for guidance on a consistent basis. Like wake up, women, we are being so extracted from. We don't have to live this life. We have been lied to, baby. We have been lied to. Lied to. Like if I can go from an energetically collapsed, like, girl who won't get out of bed to being like in a be situation where I don't have to work and I can still get paid. And like I wake up in the morning and I get to do like whatever I want and like live my day however I want. And my energy is so much more accessible. My body is releasing weight. Like I'm regulated, I'm thriving, my energy's flowing. Like I'm vibrant, I'm turned on, I'm radiant, I'm juicy. I'm having amazing experiences. Like men are magnetized to me. I have a boyfriend now that I didn't even ask for. I just aligned to myself and kept adjusting my true north to myself over and over again, even when it was hard. And like a man just popped up into my field and now we're dating. Like I get whatever I want because what I want is super in alignment with my soul's truth. And as I shift more and more and more to that, like the universe is rewarding me, but it's not a reward, it's just alignment. It's a natural next step for who I am and who I'm identifying as. And if that's how you desire to live, then I can help you get there through private mentorship. Or if you want to dip your toes and do an erotic energy activation just to see what it feels like to be connected with yourself. Side note, you can always at any time connect with yourself and access your power, but sometimes we need help building that pathway from our brain to our body in order to truly understand what our essence is and how to really listen to it and hold space for it to come to us, even during the uncertain times. So that's my mission in this lifetime. I was sent here for this. I had a reading one time that said that I was like a star seed just like dropped um on this earth after a million trials and tribulations, and I like didn't even want to participate in the human experience. And honestly, up until that moment it was true. Like I just skated by doing everything. I was like, I don't even need this shit. I don't need this shit. I don't need to fucking try. But the beauty of the human experience is to be able to connect with source and to be able to let that guide you and to be able to escape from these systems that are holding us back as women. But really what they're trying to do is harvest the energy of creation. They can't, no one can ever tap into your power unless you say so, including you. So, I mean, how many do we need the wake up calls over and over? No. I mean, if you're hard-headed like me, maybe shit. Your girl went through so many fucking initiations. My God, I was so fucking struggling at one point. God damn. But, you know, if I'm gonna own the title of High Priestess, or I'm ushering the spirit through others, I guess that's part of the process. I don't know. You tell me. I've never fucking been through this shit before, and I don't know anyone else who has directly like me. So I don't know. I'm just going with it. I decided to listen to my soul and it led me to this path. Even when I was 16, there are peaks of it in there. So you already know as I'm talking about this, you know exactly what it is you want to do. It's just gaining the courage to go within and clear the static and the distortion that's stopping you from true, deep embodiment. That's why coaching exists. Because how the fuck do you do that alone if you've never even tried? And there's a million different advices and stuff, but sometimes you really just need to be held in the experience. And that's what coaching is for. And that's why I am doing what I do. That's why I hold women through the experience. Because if you're ready to truly harness the power of your life and really be that magnet, if you're jealous of a woman when she walks into a room and is able to command it, that's information. You want that and you don't know how to get it. I'm here to tell you how to get it because I went through that exact same thing. I'm sitting here right now. I live alone in a 3 bedroom, 2 bath house with 2 cars, and I'm not working right now. Like, yes, there are nuances to that, but I'm just saying, like, that's what I wanted. I was fucking dying and I did not know what to do at work. And now I've created this whole environment for myself. And it's only up from here. Like, that's the power of your magnetism. Even when you don't necessarily believe it, if you root into who you are at the basis at the foundation, even outside the physical, energetically root into who you are, reality will begin to rearrange around you. That's what magnetism is. Like your frequency is so coherent and crystal clear that even when something seemingly goes wrong, it is still a sign that everything is reorganizing around you to meet you in your frequency. It's the law. It's universal law. It's a hermetic law. So I suggest if this is something that you're desiring, if you feel activated by this conversation, reach out to me on my stand store. I'll put it in the show notes. Send me a DM, book a resonance call where we discuss whether this is something that we should move forward with. If you feel drawn to be held in an experience where at the end you are the most magnetic, full version of yourself, then this is your call. This is your signal. Please move forward with it because the best investment that you can make is within yourself. I mean, I've been investing in myself for years and my life has completely transformed. If you feel like you're the type of person who can hold yourself in this experience, please, by all fucking means, do it. But if you're here listening to this, odds are that you're having a little bit of a challenge, or you just never have explored this situation before or this experience before, and you're dipping your toes in. Either way, if you really want to get to your desired reality and be super magnetic, book a call, book an erotic energy activation. Okay. And there's also my group program coming up soon, and I will have more information on that in the future. So please stay tuned. Okay, thank you everyone so much for listening, and I look forward to the next one. Thank you.